Alright guys, how's it going? So I got a great song for you today. We're going to do Humble and Kind by Tim McGraw. I hadn't heard this song since it first came out. It's probably been like 10 years or so since I heard the song. But I keep like a list of songs written down that I want to get to. And sometimes I'll just go through it and just think of something. And that kind of caught my eye. And you know, there's so much craziness going on in the world. I thought, I was like, why don't I sit down and try to figure out something for that? So it's just a 1-6-4 in B major. The whole song's just 3 chords. But a lot of times when I hear songs, I hear other singers singing them. Like Tim McGraw does a fantastic job, obviously, but I heard John Resnick of the Goo Goo Dolls singing this song. I thought, man, this song was built for him. Because if you hear songs like Black Balloon or Iris, he's very good at singing really soft verses and then just belting a chorus that's like 3 octaves higher than what he was singing in the verse. And that's what this song does. So I thought, well, okay, if he was gonna cover this song, how would we arrange the guitar part for him? And so that's kind of where the inspiration is coming from. The tuning is a little bit different. We'll get into the tuning of everything. Like I said, there's not a lot to the song. It's just a 1-6-4 in B major, and then we'll do all these kind of passing tones and chords in between. And really about the right hand, because we're playing in 6/8 time, very similar to like Mazzy Star's Fade Into You. It's kind of got the same kind of feel with the right hand. But let's just go ahead and get into the intro. Alright, so for the intro, we're going to begin and end this song the same way. So we're going to be playing B major to G sharp minor to E major. But we're going to do the strumming pattern, right? Very similar to, like I said, to like Mazzy Star's Fade Into You. You're just going to be going down, down, up, down, up. So just... And on the down hit, I kind of hit the lower strings. And then with the 16th note, I'll kind of hit the higher strings, right? And so it's really just the right hand thing, and then just syncing up your left hand, playing some of the melody. For the verse, I'm not trying to get the vocal melody in there as much as I am just trying to get the vibe across. And then the chorus, we'll get more kind of specific with the melody, right? So we'll start out. So one thing I should mention that I forgot to mention is the tuning, right? So we're basically tuning to like an open, well, I don't know what you call this, but instead of E, we're gonna have F sharp. Warning, you can break some strings because we are tuning some strings up like a step and a half. So we're gonna have F sharp for the low E, then we're gonna have B for the second string instead of A. Then we have F sharp for your D. Then we have B for your G. Then we have B again for your regular B string, right? And then we have F sharp for the high E. Okay, so you have F sharp, B, F sharp, B, B, F sharp. Okay, so it's kind of like, let's see here. It's like a root and a fifth type of thing, right? So you know, it just works. So I thought it sounded cool. So that's kind of tune into like a power chord almost, right? Just 1 and 5. So that's the tuning. Again, B or F sharp, B, F sharp, B, B, F sharp. All right. So I should have mentioned that before, but anyway. So once we do that little intro part, we're doing that down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, right? So we're gonna start out. I like to use my middle finger. You can kind of mess around, play around with it, but we're just gonna have 5 on the low E string, right? Just letting that B, that extra B in there, right? And I'm gonna start out. I'm gonna hammer on to 4 on the A string. Some of these may not come through as well because I don't know, playing electric guitar. I wish I had a decent acoustic guitar I could play all these on, but I don't at the moment. So 5 on E, and then hammer on from open A to 4 on A. Then we're gonna go down with our ring finger. We'll have 5 on A. Okay, then just go back to 4 on A. Okay, and then after you go back to 4 on A and do the down, down, up, then we're gonna bar E, A, and D on 3, you got to drop your elbow down quite a bit and bring your wrist almost like parallel to the wall, because you want to keep this G, B, and E ringing out. You don't want to mute them, right? So you just bar E, A, and D and immediately hammer on to 4 on the A string with your pinky, and keep the G, B, and E open, ringing the whole time, doing that down, down, up thing, right? Then we're going to go up to 5 on A with our pinky. So keep barring E, A, and D on 2, slide that pinky up to 5 on A, and then go back to 4 on A, right? So it's the same pattern as the first one. Okay, and then we're going to go to that E major. We're just going to have and we'll do variations of this throughout the song, but we'll have E, A, and D on 5, and then open G, B, and E. I really don't like barring any of these shapes because I think it's too easy to mute something out unintentionally when you're barring, and it just kind of rags on your index finger. So just E, A, and D on 5, and then we'll walk it down, that humble and kind thing, that little refrain at the end of every verse line. We'll just walk down the same shape on E, A, and D, 5 to 4 to 2, okay? And then we go back to just having 5 on the low E, and then all the strings open. Okay, and then from here, I'll change throughout. I'll alternate just kind of bass line, just something that sounds good, that gets me back to the 1. I'll just slide up to 7, and then to 9, and then back to 7. And then land back on 5 for your 1 chord of B major, right? So that'll be your whole little intro there. Okay, so that's your intro, and then we'll go ahead and get into the verse. So let's go ahead and get into the verse. Alright, so for the verse part, I'm not trying to get the vocal melody in. There's a little bit of it in there, but I'm just trying to make something pretty that gets the vibe of the song across, that sounds cool. And so we're just going to be going 5 with the low E, and then all the strings open, right? You do like a down, down, up twice. And then we'll go up here. We're going to play 7 on, or I'm sorry, 9 on E, 7 on A, 9 on D, and then open G, B, and E. Okay, and then we're going to go 7 on E, A, and D. And then we're going to go 2 on E, 4 on A and D, open G, B, and E. And then we're going to take our pinky, slide that up to 5 on D. So you have 2, 4, 4 E, A, D to 2, 4, 5 E, A, and D. Again, drop your elbow down, get your palm kind of facing the wall a little bit. So you'll have okay, we keep that strumming down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. And after you go 2, 4, 5 with your pinky on D, take your pinky off, just have the open D. And after you strum that with the open D, down, down, up, down, up. We're going to take our index finger, we're going to bar it. And so we'll bar E, A, and D on 2, and we're basically getting 2 on D, so you'd have like 2 on E, 4 on A, and 2 on D with open G, B, and E. So you'd have alright, so that'll be your verse so far. Okay, sometimes I'll slide in and out of those shapes. Then we'll go to that E major, 5 on E, A, and D. Then I'll change it up. I'll take my pinky off of D, and then I'll kind of lean my ring finger over and mute out the D. You could leave it in, it sounds okay, but I just kind of wanted it to not be in there. And then have your open B, or on the B string, have your open G, put your pinky down on B on 5, and have the open E, and then just walk it down 5, 4 to 2. So you have 5 on E and A, mute out the D, open G, 5 on B, and then open E, and then just go 4 to 2 with that same shape. Okay, and then we are back to 5 on the low E with all the strings open. Okay, and then I'll slide up to 7 on E, to 9 on E, back to 7, and do the same thing I did in the beginning. And then we repeat everything the same way the second time, and then we'll get out of it different, right? So the second time we'll end it differently. We'll have a that'll lead us into the chorus. So I just kind of wanted to do something different that led me back into the chorus that sounded better, more kind of resolved. So the second time around, repeat everything the same that we just went over, but when you get back to the 5 on the low E after walking down the, I'm going to slide up to 9 on E, then go down to 7, and then 5 with all the other strings open. Alright, so that's all there is to your verse. It's really just all right hand stuff the whole time. Just everything is just right hand, right hand, right hand. So that's the whole verse part, and then we get into the chorus. So let's go ahead and get into the chorus. Alright, so we get into the chorus after we play the verse the second time around, and we walk up and down that bass line on the low E string from 5 to 9 to 7 back to 5. And then we start strumming the vocal melody. We kind of start strumming more aggressively, and we start getting into the part where he says, open doors, say please, say thank you, and all that stuff. So we get into it. So after we go 5, 9, 7, 5 on the low E, we're going to strum all the strings open, except we're going to have 2 on the G string. So we'll go back and forth from 2 to 4 on G 3 times, right? So I'm doing like a down, up, down, and then a down. And then when I hit it down the last time on 2, I'll slide into 4 on G with an upstroke. And so we go back and forth, do that 3 times. And then the third time, just kind of strum it out an extra, like, I guess 4 beats. Then we'll walk up to 7 on G, slide up to that. We'll do a down, up, down, like a triplet. Yeah, so down, up, down. Then we'll walk into we'll go a 9 on E, A, and D, and then we'll take our pinky up to 10 on the D. Sometimes this, you get kind of like a bass bleed, and you don't really hear the distinction of the notes, like when you're playing electric. I wish I had like a decent acoustic to play, but sometimes you can't hear the clarity of it. But that is an important part of the melody there. So go 9, 9, 9, E, A, D, then go 9, 9, 10, E, A, and D. Take your pinky over to 10 on D. Take your pinky back to 9, just hit 9 on E, A, and D once. And then we're going to walk down to 2 on E, 4 on A, 5 on D, open G, B, and E. Alright, so we have so far. Okay, and after we strum on 2, 4, 5, E, A, and D, I'm going to come up here. This time I'm going to leave out the 9 on 9th fret on the low E. I'm going to leave out that bass note because I don't want it to cloud up. I really want to emphasize those notes right there, right? Those, what are they, F sharp? I really want to emphasize those notes because that's what he's singing, right? So I'm going to leave out 9 on E, and I'm going to slide into A and D on 9, have 7 on G, open B and E. say like, I know you na 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 na. Then we'll slide down to E, A, and D on 5 with your middle ring and pinky. Then go 4 on D, back to 5 on D between your index and pinky finger. Okay, then walk down that always humble and kind thing. So you'll just strum on this. And just walk down 5 on E and A, mute out the D, open G, B on 5, open E. Go 5, 4 to 2. And then 5 on the low E. Okay, then we'll repeat it a second time. So walk up that same bass line, 5, 9, 7, back to 5. Second time it's all the same, but we end it differently, and then we'll get into kind of what we played in the intro, but we'll be strumming it more aggressively. So at the second time around, after you walk down your little and you end up at 5 on E, we're gonna go 5, we're gonna slide into 9 on E, then slide into 10 on E, all with all the other strings ringing out open. Then slide back to 7. Then we'll land 5 on E, and then we'll start doing that thing we did in the intro. We'll hammer on to 4 on A. Then go 5 on A, back to 4. Then for your G sharp minor, we'll bar E, A, and D on 2. And hammer on to 4 on A with your pinky. Then walk up 5, back to 4 with your pinky on A. Okay, so then we'll end it by doing that same thing where we walk it down on 5, 5, mute out the D, open G, 5 on B, open E. Take that same shape, 4 to 2. And then take your 5 on E, walk your bass line 7 to 9, back to 7. Then we have 5 on the low E, we'll start strumming very softly, right? So instead of doing, we're just going to hold on 5 on E. Okay, so we play very soft and we simplify all of these. So it's just 5 on E with all the open strings. Then we're just going to bar E, A, and D on 2, hammer on to 4 on A. And instead of walking up to 5 again, we're just going to hold it. Then we'll go E, A, and D on 5 with the G, B, and E open. And this time we're not going to put our pinky down on B. We're just going to walk it down straight. And then just strum out 5. And then you just slide into 9. And that's everything, right? That's the whole song. So it's a lot of fun to play, especially the chorus part. So much fun. And it's really great for your right hand. The strumming pattern is pretty much identical to like Mazzy Star's Fade Into You. I did a lesson on that in an open tuning not too long ago. So that was kind of stuck in my head, I guess, for doing the rhythm. 6/8 time. So if you get a metronome going, you're going to put it at 71 beats a minute, so you can double it at like 142 if you're playing in 6/8, and you can get that beat going. But that's everything, right? So it's just getting the down hit on the low strings and doing that 16th note on the higher strings, and just kind of work on that, work on your right hand rhythm and tempo, and just moving bass line and the vocal melodies around. But that's everything, man. Hope you have fun with it. If you learn it, let me know. Have some fun with it. Play it in a band. It's a lot of fun to play. I had a lot of fun coming up with it. But that's everything, right? So just practice slow, have fun. I'll see you next time.